There are many historical secrets that we may never know. Like what really happened to the lost colony of Roanoke? Where did Genghis Khan's tomb disappear? And what caused the dancing plague of 1518? Well, it's not like we haven't tried to find out. Historians, detectives, and obsessed researchers have spent decades chasing answers. But some truths just refuse to be unearthed, maybe buried by time or deliberately erased from history. So, join us as we explore 15 mind-blowing historical secrets that remain unsolved no matter how hard we try. Let's start off with number 15. Ancient Romans used herbal birth control. If there's one thing the ancient Romans knew how to do, it was excess, whether in war, feasting, or, well, other indulgences. But for all their extracurricular activities, they also had a secret weapon, silphium, a rare plant from North Africa believed to be the ancient world's most effective form of birth control. This herb was so prized that it was literally worth its weight in silver. Roman physicians prescribed it, poets raved about it, and its heart-shaped seeds even appeared on coins. But then, gone, completely extinct. Some say it was over-harvested into oblivion, while others believe climate changes wiped it out. And since no preserved samples exist, we can't even test if it worked. Was it really an ancient contraceptive or just an overhyped spice? We may never know. Like the Romans themselves, silphium's secret vanished into history, leaving only traces behind. One thing's for sure, modern medicine would kill to get its hands on it. Number 14. The Manhattan Project. Hiding 130,000 people, 30 locations, and a $2 billion budget, about $27 billion today, sounds impossible. But during World War II, the US government pulled off one of the biggest secrets in history. The Manhattan Project, the classified effort to build the atomic bomb. The project's secrecy was next level. Workers were given isolated tasks, never knowing what they were really building. Scientists used code names for materials, and sites were guarded tighter than Fort Knox. Even Vice President Harry Truman was left in the dark until he became president. Of course, there were leaks. Soviet spy Klaus Fuchs managed to pass vital information to the USSR. But despite the scale, the project stayed under wraps until the US dropped the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945. By then, the world's deadliest secret was out. But one question still lingers. If they could keep this hidden, what else has been covered up? Number 13. The secret of Egyptian hieroglyphics. For centuries, Egyptian hieroglyphics were an unreadable enigma until 1799, when the Rosetta Stone helped scholars crack the code. Or so we thought. Turns out, translating hieroglyphs isn't as straightforward as it seems. Unlike an alphabet, hieroglyphs can represent letters, words, sounds, or entire ideas, depending on their context. Even after decades of study, some symbols remain a mystery. Scholars have translated a vast amount, but others, no one has a clue. Some glyphs reference religious beliefs, gods, or cultural concepts that have been lost to time. Even today, historians are still guessing at certain meanings. So, did we really decipher Egyptian hieroglyphs? Partially. But the dead still keep their secrets. And without a time machine, there are pieces of ancient Egypt's history that we may never fully understand. Just like Cleopatra's lost tomb or the real method behind pyramid construction, some truths are buried forever. Number 12. Archaeum, the Russian Stonehenge. Deep in the southern Urals lies Archaeum, a 4,000-year-old archaeological site that has puzzled researchers since its discovery. Built sometime between 2000 and 3000 BCE, its circular fortified design is strikingly similar to Troy, with a moat, walls, and advanced urban planning. It had a water system, metalwork, and even possible astronomical functions. But the people who built it? Total mystery. Some scholars link it to the Aryans, an ancient Indo-European people, but the evidence is shaky. The biggest enigma? Why it was abandoned? There's no sign of war, disease, or famine. One day, its people just left. Was Archaeum a religious sanctuary? A scientific hub? A lost civilization's capital? Well, in simple words, no one knows. Despite decades of excavation, the reasons behind its construction and its disappearance remain unsolved. Until we uncover more, Archaeum stands as one of history's most perplexing, forgotten cities. Number 11. The Ancient Kingdom of Thulamela. Buried in Kruger National Park, South Africa, the ruins of Thulamela tell the story of a once thriving kingdom from the 13th to 17th centuries. Built by the Shona people of Zimbabwe, it was a powerful city of 3,000 people, boasting gold, iron, copper, and tin production. Trade links stretched across the Indian Ocean, with artifacts from China, India, and the Middle East found at the site. Then, it vanished. By the 17th century, Thulamela was abandoned. Was it due to Portuguese interference in African trade, civil war, environmental changes? No one knows for sure. The biggest mystery? Its real name. Thulamela is a modern label meaning place of birth. Whatever its true name was, history has erased it. Until archaeologists uncover more, Thulamela remains an echo of Africa's forgotten past, a kingdom with no name, lost in time. Number 10. The Dashka Stone. The Dashka Stone, or Chandar Slab, is one of Russia's strangest mysteries. This stone appears to be an incredibly detailed topographical map of the Ural Mountains, complete with rivers and artificial canals. That alone is impressive. But here's where things get wild. Radiocarbon dating suggests it's 120 million years old. That shouldn't be possible. To make things even weirder, the slab is engraved with hieroglyph-like symbols resembling ancient Chinese writing. No one can explain how or why these markings exist. Some scientists argue that it's a natural formation that just happens to look like a map. Others believe it's proof of a forgotten civilization, or worse, evidence of knowledge beyond what history tells us. Nicknamed the Map of the Creator, it has fueled theories ranging from lost advanced societies to extraterrestrial involvement. Whatever the truth is, one thing's clear. If this stone is as old as they say, we're missing a huge chapter of human history. Number 9. Unexplained mass disappearances. People vanish all the time, but sometimes entire groups disappear without a trace. One of the most famous cases? The Roanoke colony. In 1590, an English ship arrived at the settlement to find every single colonist gone. No bodies, no signs of struggle, just the word Croatoan carved into a tree. Did they integrate with a native tribe, or did something far stranger happen? No one knows. Then there's the case of the Mary Celeste, a fully stocked ship found drifting in the Atlantic in 1872, with the crew missing but no signs of distress. No storms, no pirate attack, no clues. They were never seen again. And it's not just ancient history. In 1945, 5 U.S. Navy planes vanished over the Bermuda Triangle, and the rescue planes sent after them. It disappeared too. People don't just vanish, right? History might not have all the answers, but it sure leaves us with endless questions. Number 8. Ancient Hawaiian petroglyphs. Hawaii is home to thousands of petroglyphs and ancient rock carvings found across nearly every island, except one. Some depict warriors, animals, and women giving birth, but others, pure mystery. Concentric circles, strange symbols, and cryptic dots are arranged in ways that defy easy interpretation. The Big Island has the largest concentration, yet many petroglyph sites are completely deserted. Why carve messages in places where no one lived? And more importantly, what do they even mean? Archaeologists have theories: ritual markings, navigational guides, genealogical records. But there's no Rosetta Stone for Hawaiian petroglyphs. Even modern native Hawaiians can't fully decipher many of these symbols. Were these carvings warnings, maps, a lost written language? No one knows. The meanings may have died with the people who made them, but the symbols remain, etched in stone, whispering secrets that history will never fully reveal. Number 7. African Stonehenge. While Stonehenge gets all the fame, Senegambia's stone circles are just as mysterious. Scattered across Gambia and Senegal, these 7-ton stone pillars stretch over 350 kilometers, some nearly 2 meters tall. Dating back to 300 BCE, they appear to be burial sites, as human remains have been found near some. But here's the real mystery. Who built them? And why? These circles weren't made overnight. They were constructed over 2,000 years, suggesting an ancient tradition that no one fully understands. Some believe they marked territories, others think they had spiritual or astronomical significance. With no written records from the time and no clear cultural ties, their true purpose remains unknown. Were they sacred sites? Political symbols? Something entirely different? Until new discoveries emerge, the meaning behind these stone circles, and the people who created them, remains one of Africa's greatest unsolved puzzles. Number 6. The Gedi Ruins. Hidden in Kenya's coastal forests, the ruins of Gedi tell the story of a once thriving Swahili town from the 15th century. It had mosques, palaces, and even indoor plumbing, proof of a highly advanced society. But then, around 1530 CE, it was abandoned, and no one knows why. Gedi was clearly wealthy and well-organized, with a complex social structure. Theories suggest its downfall was caused by Portuguese invaders, civil unrest, or water shortages. But here's the weird part. There's no sign of a battle, no mass graves, and no evidence of disease. The people of Gedi didn't die out. They just left. Where did they go? And why? Unlike other lost cities, there's no clear reason for Gedi's disappearance. Whatever forced them to abandon their home, it remains one of Africa's greatest historical mysteries, a city frozen in time, but missing its people. Number 5. The discovery of giant skeletons. We've all heard the legends, not Jack and the Beanstalk fairy tales, but real-world claims of giant human skeletons being unearthed. During the 19th and early 20th centuries, reports surfaced across the U.S. of skeletons ranging from 8 to 10 feet tall. Some newspapers even described them as belonging to an ancient race of red-haired giants. The problem? Not a single one ever made it to a museum. Some were dismissed as hoaxes, others were said to be misidentified animal bones. But then there are stories of Smithsonian cover-ups, accusations that powerful institutions may have hidden evidence of these discoveries. Sounds crazy, right? But here's the thing. Gigantism exists. Sultan Kösen of Turkey, the world's tallest living man, stands at 8 feet 2.8 inches. If genetics can naturally produce a modern-day giant, why is it so hard to believe that ancient humans might have been much larger than we think? History is full of secrets, and this might just be one of them. Number 4. The fate of Hitler's stolen wealth. Somewhere out there, hidden from the world, is what could be history's greatest lost treasure, Hitler's stolen fortune. We're talking about a staggering hoard of gold bars, foreign currency, and jewelry, worth an estimated $4 billion. Yes, billion with a B. This loot disappeared like a ghost from the Reichsbank vaults as World War II crumbled. Over the years, bits and pieces of Nazi gold turned up in Switzerland, Spain, Turkey, Sweden, and Portugal. But they barely scratched the surface of the legendary missing cash. So where is it? Some believe it's buried beneath Deutschneudorf, Germany. Others swear it sank to the bottom of Lake Toplitz, Austria. Then there's the theory that it was quietly funneled into secret bank accounts worldwide. Despite relentless searches, no one has found undeniable proof. One thing is certain: the fortune was real, just like Hitler himself. But whether it still exists, that's a secret the world may never crack. Number 3. Was King Arthur real? Well, this guy was famous. King Arthur, brave warrior, noble king, wielder of Excalibur, has inspired stories for centuries. There's just one tiny issue. No one knows if he actually existed. The earliest whisper of Arthur comes from Y Gododin, a Welsh poem from the 6th or 7th century. Some versions mention him, others don't. The first solid reference appears in the 9th century Historia Brittonum, which credits him with leading 12 battles against the Saxons, including one where he supposedly cut down 900 men single-handedly. Fast forward to the 12th century, and Geoffrey of Monmouth turned Arthur into a full-fledged legend. He became the mighty ruler of Camelot, complete with a round table, Holy Grail, and Merlin. By the 15th century, Sir Thomas Malory's Le Morte d'Arthur had locked Arthur into mythic status. But was he ever real? Maybe. Maybe not. Unless you've had tea with the Lady of the Lake, it's anyone's guess. Number 2. What caused the Great Unconformity? In 1869, geologist John Wesley Powell made a jaw-dropping discovery in the Grand Canyon, over 1 billion years of missing rock. Just gone. Scientists call this the Great Unconformity, and it's not just a Grand Canyon thing. It's been found all over the world. We're talking about a 40% gap in Earth's geological record, as if someone hit the delete button on history itself. So, what happened? One theory blames Snowball Earth, an ancient ice age where glaciers scoured away entire layers of rock. Another idea is the Rodinia breakup, where an old supercontinent shattered so violently that it erased vast sections of Earth's crust. But here's where it gets crazy. Some believe this missing rock seeded the oceans with minerals, helping trigger the Cambrian explosion, the moment when life suddenly evolved at an unprecedented speed. In other words, 1 billion years vanished, but did they help create life as we know it? Now that's a mystery. Number 1. The remains of Christopher Columbus. Christopher Columbus is one of the most famous explorers in history, but here's the thing. No one knows where his bones actually are. When he died in 1506, Columbus was buried in Valladolid, Spain. But then, the real journey began. In 1537, his remains were moved to Hispaniola, now the Dominican Republic, per his wishes. When Spain lost the island to France in 1795, the remains were reportedly sent to Cuba, only to be relocated again to Seville, Spain in 1898. That should have settled it. Except it didn't. In 1877, a mysterious box labeled Cristobal Colon was found in a Santo Domingo cathedral, and the Dominican Republic swears those are the real bones. In 2006, DNA tests confirmed that the Seville remains matched Columbus's brother, Diego. But without testing the Dominican bones, the truth remains in limbo. Until then, Columbus is just as lost in death as he was in 1492. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon in the next one.